What's up everybody, it's Jens and I'm back with another practice software interview question. If you're trying to prepare for a software development or engineering interview, or if you just want to hone your software development skills, this video is for you. This is LeetCode, it's the two-sum problem. It's pretty simple. You're given a vector of integers and a target value, and you need to return the indices of the integers that add up to the target. So my gut instinct on this one was to do a nested for loop, because what you need to do is go through every integer and add it to every other integer in the list until you get the target value. And that's what I'm going to try first. One thing that's really important to know is that nested for loops have an O2 time complexity, which isn't great because it takes too long when your vector is too big. And I thought of that at the beginning. Later on, I'll try a recursive solution, but I'm not very good at recursion, so I eventually give that up. The reason I'm worried about time complexity is because that's really important for companies when they're thinking about hiring someone. They're always going to give priority to the person who has the best time complexity. So that's really important to think about when you're writing your solution. So getting the initial nested for loop set up is pretty simple. The basic idea of what you want to do, as I said before, is just add up every number to every other number. And then if it adds up to the target, then you add the indices of those two numbers to a vector that you create. So that part I got up and running pretty quickly, but for some reason the hardest part was getting out of my nested for loop to return the vector of indices as the solution. I tried a bunch of different things. For some reason, I couldn't break out of the second for loop, and every time I tried to, it would return an empty vector. I tried a bunch of different things, if you notice, and if any of you in the comments have an idea of what I did wrong, please let me know, because I'm kind of still confused. If you look at line 3, I added an if statement that's supposed to make sure that I don't add the same number to itself. That's one of the conditions in the description. This is where I really started to get frustrated. The line that's highlighted right now, once the program gets to that point, it has the correct indices in the vector. But once I break out of that loop, there's still another for loop it has to go through, and it repeats the same numbers to add up to the target, thus giving me 4 values in the vector instead of just 2, which is what I need for the solution. And as I said before, I'm going to try to add a break statement to the second for loop, but every time I do, it just returns an empty vector, and I really don't get why it did that. One thing I try later on is to return the vector from inside the if statement, but that doesn't work either. Now I'm just like, screw it, I gotta try something else. And I had an idea in my mind for recursion, which was really what I wanted to do since it would be a better time complexity. But as I said before, I'm not really that good at recursion, so this doesn't really end up working out very well for me. What's always difficult for me about recursion is defining my base case. I didn't really have a clear idea of what the base case would be. What I thought I would do is every time that the function was called, it would pass in a smaller vector to itself, and deal with just those numbers, and if they added up to the target, then that would be the base case. But I didn't really have a clear idea of that, so eventually I ditched it. I tried a bunch of different things for this nested break problem, and I realized that I wasn't going to get anywhere unless I did some searching on Google. And if you know me, you know that I will forever to the day I die advocate for Googling things. For so long, I struggled so badly in software development because I didn't realize that I could go and check out other people's code to give me help with my code. A user from Stack Overflow suggested that I create a helper function and transferred my for loops into that helper function and then just return out of that function once I have what I need. But that just created the same exact problem. The biggest thing that helped me solve this question was analyzing the test cases. As I analyzed the test cases, I was better able to see what my code was doing to each test case, and that helped me get a better idea of where to progress to. So I started to think that maybe if I changed the initial value for my for loops, it might have a difference. And honestly, it was just dumb luck that helped. And I started to get some of the test cases correct. But honestly, I was just spitballing. I really didn't know what to do. I was just trying different things that might work, and eventually I got that part to work. And then by what felt like a stupid miracle, I was able to get the solution by adding a Boolean flag. I did not think this was gonna work at all. Because basically I was doing what I had done before by trying to break out of the second for loop. But for some reason this worked.
Oh! What?
Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe for more software development videos.